Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. The Scott Manning coming to you live from Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk. I want to thank all my loyal viewers for being with me here this morning. I just got some big news. The new top 25 poll in college football has been released, and I want to take a few minutes and address it. All right? That's better. Sorry about the little slight delay there, but I just had to kind of get the brightness on the computer here all fixed up. The new top 25 poll in college football has come out. Numbers 1, 2, and 3, Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia are still the same. 4 through 25, however, is a whole nother story. Case in point, Ohio State moved up one spot from number 5 to number 4, while Wisconsin dropped from number 4 to number 5, so there's a little flip-flop there. Oklahoma moved up a spot from number 7 to number 6. Auburn, as a result of their big win over Washington last Saturday, they jumped from number 9 to number 7. Notre Dame, what about the Fighting Irish? Their big victory over Michigan, they jumped from number 12 to number 8. Washington suffered a little bit of a setback. They went from number 6 to number 9 as a result of the performance they gave against the Auburn Tigers in their loss. Stanford, despite the fact that Bryce Love only carried the ball, only had 18 carries for 29 yards, went from number 13 to number 10 this week. LSU, the biggest winner of the weekend. They went from number 25, just barely being in the top 25, to number 11 after their big victory over Miami. Virginia Tech, another big winner. They jumped from number 20 to number 12 after their victory over Florida State. Penn State, they went from number 10 to number 13. And on a personal note, I'm going to tell you right now, Penn State is lucky to be number 13. Had they lost that game to Appalachian State on Saturday, I guarantee you, they would have been out of the top 25. Because they would have got embarrassed. And I'm going to address that on Saturday morning. West Virginia, what can you say about the Mountaineers and Will Grier? His performance on Saturday brought West Virginia from number 17 to number 14. Michigan State, a scary moment after a frightening moment in their squeak-by win over Utah State. They went from number 11 to number 15. TCU stayed the same at number 16, no change there. USC went from number 15 to number 17 because of some concerns on offense. Mississippi State stayed the same at number 18. UCF, last year's uncrowned national champions, went from number 21 to number 19. Boise State, they moved up a couple spots to number 20. Michigan, one of the biggest losers of the weekend. They went from number 14 to number 21 after getting embarrassed by Notre Dame on Saturday night. Miami, another big loss. They went from number 8 to number 22 after their heartbreaking loss to LSU on Sunday night. Oregon moved up one spot to number 23. And let's welcome South Carolina and Florida to the top 25 at 24 and 25 respectively. What stuck out to me in the opening weekend of the college football season was, number 1, LSU moving up from number 25 to number 11, and Virginia Tech going from number 20 to number 12. Florida State's now out of the top 25 after their 24-3 loss on Monday night. Michigan State, they only lost a total of 4 starters from last year, and they barely squeaked by Utah State. West Virginia, what can you say? Will Grier, he could be a Heisman Trophy winner. Stanford moving up into the top 10 at number 10. I've got some concerns there. KJ Costello had a great game, but Bryce Love, one of the Heisman Trophy candidates that everybody's been talking about, only had 18 carries for 29 yards in their victory over San Diego State on Friday night. There's a lot of concerns there. Notre Dame, what can you say about the Fighting Irish? I mean, Brandon Wimbush has found ways to win football games for Notre Dame. But as for Michigan, Jim Harbaugh's job, his seat has gotten a lot hotter after that loss to Notre Dame. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to address that a little further on Saturday morning. But if you look at everything, Ohio State moving up to number 4 despite no Urban Meyer. Now, Urban Meyer is back coaching on a limited basis. He can coach in practice, but he cannot coach on game day on Saturday. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I bet you Urban was screaming, tackling, defense. Because if you remember right, Ohio State gave up 2 big runs and a big touchdown pass against Oregon State. There's a lot to talk about there. But what can you say about Auburn? Auburn, look what they did to Washington. They stopped Miles Gaskin. They stopped him big time. The Auburn defense came through. They did they did exactly what I said they needed to do, and they did it. They stopped Miles Gaskin. They stopped the run. That was a big thing. Oklahoma, the post-Baker Mayfield era, got off to a great start with a big victory. The Georgia Bulldogs. Now, they got a crucial game against South Carolina on Saturday. One of the very few top 25 battles on this coming Saturday afternoon. I'll address that Friday night. So the first week of the college football season is over. Now we move on to week 2. And I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like it's going to be a pretty quiet week, but don't let anything fool you. I mean, Ohio State faces Rutgers on Saturday. You got Western Michigan on Saturday. You got Notre Dame playing Ball State. And, of course, the only 2 top 25 matchups I have are No. 3 Georgia, No. 24 South Carolina, No. 10 Stanford, No. 17 USC. And, of course, I do have Clemson, Texas A&M marked down. I'm going to talk about that game on Saturday. Now, the other game that that has me watching very carefully is No. 13 Penn State versus Pitt. The Battle of the Keystone State. I'm going to address all of that on Friday night during my college football Friday night show right here on YouTube. So before I go, please tune in Friday night at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for the Scott Manning YouTube college football show. It's a very special show. I got a lot I'm going to talk about. I'm going to address a lot of the games, and I'm going to be honest with you. Anything can happen on any given Saturday, and it usually does. So if you think these games are going to give me games, give you a case in point. The Mid-America Conference is not the same Mid-America Conference that my mom and daddy grew up with, and I grew up with, and my sister grew up with, just to give you an idea. Last Saturday, we saw Appalachian State throw everything including the kitchen sink to beat Penn State, and they still couldn't get the job done. But I'm going to be honest with you. This is a new week, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm ready, and I am pumped and ready to go. So please tune in Friday night, 10 o'clock, right here on YouTube for the Scott Manning YouTube college football show. And we're going to talk. We're going to have a lot of talk, and we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow night. And it's going to be a great show. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys for taking the time with me here this morning. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. Very simple. Just type my name, scroll down, look for this pretty face, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll see all the videos I've done so far. You guys, thank you so much for being with me here today. You guys have a great day. This is Scott Manning saying have a great day. And have a great day, and thank you so much. And goodbye, everybody, and God bless.